I think the op-ed from George Clooney was an interesting thing because people will say, well, he's just a Hollywood actor, but he's also quite a big Democratic donor. He had a fundraiser during which he saw Joe Biden. That fundraiser raised $28 million for Joe Biden, but it did have a bit of a bad performance from the president. George Clooney in his op-ed saying it's devastating to say it, but the Joe Biden I was with 3 weeks ago at the fundraiser was not the Joe big effing deal Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate. Now, the White House will say that this was around the same time that that debate took place. It was after Joe Biden had been back and forth to Europe twice and then went back again in 9 hours in time zone back to Los Angeles. So they will say that he was jet lagged, he was tired, and more than likely he had that cold that he was complaining about as well. But nevertheless, that doesn't do much to assuage concerns of the Democratic Party voters and indeed, the rest of the electorate. Perhaps the most consequential thing for Joe Biden's election bid, however, will be those Democratic lawmakers. So far, we've heard a lot from people in the House, Democrats who have, raised their concerns. Joe Biden not that concerned about those people at the moment. But what will start changing the needle, perhaps, is the Democratic senators. Nancy Pelosi is a longtime friend of Joe Biden. They've known each other for decades. She hasn't come out in full-throated opposition to him. She hasn't said one way or another which way she wants Joe Biden to fall. She just said, I want him to do whatever he decides to do. But Joe Biden has already said that he's going to run. So that in itself speaks volumes. I think what will really be the tell here is if Joe Biden loses the support of Chuck Schumer in the Senate, as well as Hakeem Jeffries, the leader of the Democrats in the House, that will be when really his election bid will be no more. I think that's when it will lose its legs if he loses those people. Joe Biden's trying to secure the campaign, is trying to have, they're trying to show up support in the Senate. They're having a meeting with Democrats in the Senate on Thursday to try to make sure that people rally around the president and circle the wagons around him as well.
And as we've been reporting, this comes amid the NATO Summit, which is underway in D.C. How is the president using this to reassure his allies?
Well, all eyes really are on this NATO summit to see that Joe Biden can act on the world stage and still has the mental acuity to be there on the world stage with these leaders. And all eyes really are going to be on the press conference that he's giving on Thursday around 5:30 local time is when Joe Biden will give this press conference. This has been something that has been bigged up by the White House as a, quote, big boy press conference. That was a joke that my colleague Justin Singh from Bloomberg used in the press briefing. The White House kind of ran with it, but it's kind of come back to bite the White House a little bit now. I think some people think that joke is slightly inappropriate, but it is going to be one of the larger press conferences that Joe Biden has given in quite some time. We're expecting about 6 or 7 people to be giving him questions during that time. The questions will, range across a whole wide range of subjects, but more than likely his mental acuity and whether he's staying in the race will be top of mind for most people. So really that is going to be a big thing to look out for. Joe Biden probably will try to go over his NATO achievements, what he's achieved in his time in office. Some people want him to take more of an opportunity to bash Donald Trump. Whether he does that at a NATO summit remains to be seen. Some people think that also might be an inappropriate forum to do that kind of thing. But he's also got an interview on Monday with Lester Holt from NBC. So if he does do that, a special, a primetime special, that could perhaps be a better forum for him to really go after Donald Trump and get on the offensive instead of being on the defensive for the last 2 weeks.
All right, Fraser, and you'll be keeping an eye on those events as they happen in Washington, D.C. Fraser, thank you.